Hello, everybody. Today is May 9th, 2023, and you are on Survivor's Circle. Uh, the topic I picked out for today is about messages. I was ruminating the other day about some putting together a bunch of the strange things that have happened to me over the years. Uh, a couple in particular, but putting the two together. I had was going through a big change in my life. And it had more to do with, more than anything, to do with looking back on my near death experience as a very young man and trying to figure out what that meant. One of the things that, but when it happened, I didn't really have any way to, didn't have any knowledge of how to communicate, didn't really share it with anybody. Not that it would have been accepted back then. And I was trying to kind of figure that out and looking in a lot of different places. And my first experience was that, and I was fighting it. I kind of had the message that the feeling that it was time to pay attention to that other side of reality, the other side of the coin. And I was fighting it because that didn't really appeal to me. My whole life had been around the actual, the physical, the scientific, the one step after another building of reality. And this was off to the side. This was set off to the side. It was something entirely different. And I was fighting that until I had a couple of other experiences where I just basically, I had my own kind of break with reality. And that was the first one of those was actually the less traumatic of the two. And I ignored it. I put it aside. And when I was on that little, like a walkabout journey, I had several things that happened that weren't things that happen in ordinary reality. On that particular walkabout, I got caught in a very severe summer thunder shower. And it was really a strange thing that happened. There used to be a science fiction-y TV program where it was the island, some secret agent guy that had got put on an island, okay, because they were afraid he'd been turned, and he was imprisoned by these floating, like, plastic balls. If he tried to get off the island, they would just like mob him like antibodies. Okay. So anyway, on my little walk, and I'm going down the street, and it's a little gusty, but The Prisoner. Thank you, dear. Couldn't remember the name of the show. Now, The Prisoner. And I was caught out of the corner of my eye this big leaf bag, obviously empty, but filled with the wind. And I didn't pay too much attention to it. I mean, it was a couple 100 yards away. And I kept walking. And as I walked, it got closer and closer and closer until it came to me. And I thought, oh, that was really weird. We can't have this floating around like this all day. It'll go in front of a car somewhere and block their windshield and cause a wreck. So I, brand new out of the box, like 20-gallon, 50-gallon leaf bag. So I just rolled it up and put it in my pocket. A little further, a few more miles down the road, and it started raining. Your normal summer thunder shower, just buckets. And that bag certainly came in handy when that rain shower. And now, why did that? I've never seen anything like that before in my entire life. I mean, I've seen paper bags blowing, like Walmart bags blowing in the wind. I've seen all kinds, but I have never. I can't even. I just doubt myself to imagine the circumstances that would have been necessary for all that to happen and simultaneously coincide with my own trajectory. So I kind of looked at that as a message of some sort. And really, it was a message. You're on the right track, but maybe the thunderstorm was a message that you're not going in quite the right direction. So that was my first message. The second one, I was hitchhiking on a snowy road. May have been about 9 o'clock in the winter day, and it was snowing like hell. And I had finally given up any hope of getting a ride. And just a few seconds later, a car stopped and picked me up. Now, it didn't really, it kind of caught my attention at the time, that it was like a brand new, it looked like showroom, brand new, like a 1980 Ford Torino that would have been over 20 years old. Definitely a show car. Not something that had been driven like ever. But I went over and got in the car, and there was a young man in the car that was kind of skinny, kind of medium long hair for the time, like just off the shoulders. And so, well, where are you headed? I said, well, I'm going to visit my son. He's just a few more miles down the road here. And he says, yeah, that's really terrible. I'm separated from my daughter too. I'll give you a ride. And we continued talking for a little bit. And then the next thing I know, I'm sitting across the street from my son's house in a Burger King 25 miles away. Didn't remember getting out of the car. Didn't remember walking into the restaurant. Just was there. I was just there. And I had never actually, the strangeness to me was, what the hell was that car doing in that road, on that road, in the middle of the night, in snowy, salty Ohio? That was a total impossibility. But the funniest part of the whole thing, yes, there was missing time, but I never thought about the missing time part of it. It just didn't. I didn't want to look at the missing time part of it, because the person that got into that car and the person that awoke in that restaurant were quite different people. And it's, if I had to say what the difference between those two people was the latter person had hope. And a big weight was gone. And that's all I can say. So that was the acceptance of the of the challenge, or the I'm kind of believing that we have contracts. When we decide to inhabit this place, time, body for a while, we are here to do something. And whatever the preparations are to do that, that's a big part of our lives, is learning how to do it again. And another part of it is, it's really important for some reason to fulfill that contract. But I mean, it's not like we get it on paper, but we do get messages from time to time as to what we should be doing. And I don't know. I keep interpreting and reinterpreting all these things, but that's always a part of it. So the other thing that I learned about message, the first message was really very gentle and helpful. The second message was less gentle, far more helpful, but quite a bit less gentle. It was different. It actually changed me, and that is very different. Is there a connection between the theory of holographic consciousness and the theory of parallel worlds and multiple selves existing in other dimensions or universes simultaneously? Could be. I don't have anything that in my experiences, other than when I died for a while and was over there, it was entirely different. It was very, very detailed, very clear, very more real than real. Okay. And I'd go back in a second. Okay. But that doesn't, for those moments, I was somewhere else. I don't know don't have any evidence that I was also in other places and times or dimensions or whatever. In my encounter in the car, he was as real as my dog's barking. He was. I mean, it's like it was a weird feeling, because there was a kid I worked with years and years and years and years and years ago. And I thought, gee, he looks just like Jerry. Okay. But obviously it couldn't have been Jerry, because Jerry was 20. And this guy was in his early 20s. He certainly wasn't 40. So, if you couldn't hear the dogs barking, we have, yeah. So anyway, what about communications between instantiations of ourselves existing in other dimensions? I think it's all possible. I think it's all possible, but it wasn't my experience. When I died and had my experience over there, as short as it was definitely a different place. It was operating under a different kind of physics than is here. Okay. It was, I hate using this word because it's become a buzzword. It was like a quantum consciousness world, because I could see behind me without turning my head, merely by directing my consciousness behind me. Or I could see a rock across the lake as though I could pick it up with my hand, although it was a mile away. You know? So it was definitely a different place. But where it wasn't here. It was definitely somewhere else. I think that's a part of the message. I think there's only a portion of our conscious existence that is here and now. Okay? I think, or either that, or we are restricted to what is allowed to exist in this particular matrix. Okay? And once you step out of that, you're in an entirely different. Once we step out of this meaty part, we're working on an entirely different level. That's so interesting. We communicated with an alternate self recently, and it said, "Oh, it's you again." Well, I would think I would desire a more cordial acknowledgement than that, but hey, whatever, but oh God. So I guess that, we have but I honestly believe, okay, can't prove it. This is my theory. This is my hypothesis. We're here for a reason. We don't need to know what it is. We just need to follow the messages, and that'll get us to where we need to be. How did that? I get what's an RBF? RBF from my future self. I don't know. What's an RBF? Strange stuff indeed. Yes. Oh. Okay. Apparently, I've seen resting bitch face before. That's like a warning sign. I think. Oh my God. So that's my story for today. That's the best I can come up with. And I can, I will say from the time I walked out of that restaurant to now, I have been the same person, but it's like I put away the baggage for some reason, of some sort. I just do. Quit fighting. I've quit. I've stopped fighting. And I'm okay with that. I'm happy. I'm happier with that. Okay. The good old Kentucky Derby, Amish NASCAR.
Yep, Amish NASCAR. They're kind of all over Kentucky, so yeah, I can see them racing. So
oh my goodness, your breeze is picking up. We were supposed to get some breezes here this afternoon.
It just started.
Is that your wind chimes or mine?
Well, mine
Do
are
you have
going.
wind chimes? Okay. So. Yep. Oh, the time differential? Yes. When
Ron acts like he came up with that term, and he did not.
Yeah. When I had my experience, when I floated out of my body and went over to the other side for a little while, it lasted minutes, possibly here, but it sure seemed a lot longer over there. Okay. But I've had, and I think a lot of people have had something similar to that happen, especially in accidents. I know I rolled a car over once. It was kind of interesting. It was interesting because everything went in slow motion. It just like in the damn movies. I think they got that idea from reality from some purpose. But it was like the frame rate was slowed way down. Like, but see that's not Einsteinian diversion of the timeline. That's a different compression. Einstein said the faster you go, the slower time goes. But this, you didn't change it's just your ability to perceive time. And even your ability to perceive things that are so quick and so that in our ordinary perception, you can't see them. Okay? If a glass breaks and you see the particles of that glass like floating in the air, you are in a different. You're running you're running on a different timeline. I mean, not that it's a separate timeline, but you're moving at a different pace along that timeline. So that's my guess on that. Ooh, yes, that is probably that. Yes, I'm not going to break. I'm not going to break that. I'm not going to break that story entirely, but that I want to know. I want to know a lot more about time crystals and a lot of other things. Yes, that's always good advice. Never. Oh, yes. You never know where which lips have touched the end of the stamp. You know, or we don't have to lick stamps anymore, do you? Yeah. Gee.
It's been a lot of years since you had to lick stamps.
I still lick envelopes when I seal something in them, so I guess there's something there. I can still get the DNA off. Oh my God. So, relax and come back to reality a little bit. Yes.
Yeah.
So, what else are we going to talk about today?
Reality's overrated. I did see a show the other day, how the universe works, and I just got to see part of season 9, I think it was. Anyway, but they were talking about some type of bacteria that is in Siberia, and it is being exposed because of the permafrost melting. And they don't know what it's going to do.
Well, of course not.
Well, now, isn't this funny? Because probably that is probably a 2 or 3 year old episode.
Okay. There was a news report just the other day that they had recovered the body of one of those bog mammoths in the permafrost that still had flowing blood. Yeah. So we don't that was the whole premise of the movie The Blob. You know, this primordial whatever the hell it was came out of the permafrost in Alaska, was about to eat the world. So let's hope those bacteria aren't of that particular type. You know, it's highly unlikely. You know, unless they were like giant bacteria that ate mammoths. rough times indeed back there. We were talking the other day. I'm going to go ahead and do this because I've got some graphics on I want to show. What I wanted to talk, what I brought up, and rather than making figures with my hands, was okay. Full screen, share screen. Screen. Yes. Screen. Come on. Yeah. This is what's called a bell curve. Okay. It's like the normal distribution of any particular variable, okay? Within the range of what is given. Most things tend to form up in the middle, okay? You have, say you've got Republicans on one side and Democrats on the other side, and as you move inward on the bell curve, you're less and less in the middle. The middle doesn't care one way or the other, okay? And that's the ordinary distribution of the population, because there's always the extremes, and the middle doesn't really care what the extremes are doing. They're each and individually doing their own thing, except for the news. And these days, okay, it's not going to switch for me. It's going to share screen again. I hope I can get this right. Screen. And yeah, here. This is, and I actually found a graphic for this. This is a reverse bell curve, okay? And yes, it looks like a bell curve upside down, but the functional part is the bottom, okay? This is kind of like the news right now. It's all either all the way left or all the way right, and nobody's reporting in the middle. And that's unnatural. That is entirely an unnatural. The normal forces of the the normal forces of statistics won't allow that to form, okay? The extreme polarization of like news or just about anything these days is artificial. And that is, and that's just an observation, okay? So share screen, back to this. And the question becomes, what is the force? What's causing that? Okay, it's got to be outside the ordinary frame of, yes. It's unnatural and artificial. Okay, but there are reasons. Okay, the extremes get all the attention. Okay, oh god, you've got the you've got the Trumpers on one side and the Antifa on the other side. I don't like either one of them. Okay, you know, and it's the point is, everything is being pushed out towards the middle. You've got to make a choice. You've got to make this choice or that choice to be in the normal distribution. You can't just exist the way we've always existed in the standard normal bell curve, where most of the time it doesn't matter. We're just being forced into this. And the reason, and that causes so much cognitive dissonance, for one thing, and animosity between one group and the other group. It's a real problem. For those that were in with, I stopped in to say hi to Bill earlier today. And he was talking to somebody that used to be a comedian. Maria, you and I have had this conversation before. And he quit. He gave it up because he couldn't do a gig. He couldn't do his act because no matter what he did, people were so triggered that it just didn't work. You know, people weren't laughing. They took everything. They were so sensitized by this anti-Bell situation that, yes, cognitive dissonance. That's when you fight against yourself because you're trying to believe two mutually impossible things at the same time.
But it's possible.
Yes.
I've done it for years.
It could be a virus and it could be not. It
I've
could
done it for
exist.
years.
It either exists or doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
And you can live with both of those. But it's hard. Some things sometimes it's hard to function in both of those. And it does create that like a battle inside yourself, okay, which triggers sensitization, which triggers either fight, flight, or freeze, because that's just, if both turn out to be true, that is really the most common outcome, that there are circumstances where both things are true, but they're being presented as an either or. And that's not, which, but the whole point is it's all to create dissonance and division. But we know where that's coming from. Or we know who's successfully exploiting that these days, over the past, let's call it the last year. That has been very successfully exploited by the billionaires, because we're struggling in general right now. Everybody is. Yes, they'll come for me first. Yes, they're using it as a tactic. And as long as we're distracted by worrying about gas prices, egg prices, where are they going to find oil next? Who's going to turn the gas off? Am I going to be able to mow my lawn or will I have to buy an electric lawnmower? All these different division tactics benefit them, and they're raking in the billions and billions and billions. And where's it coming from? It's coming from our pockets. That is we are the source of all good things. It doesn't, in spite of the fact that they believe it's just magic and it just pops into it's not. It's created. It's a machine. It's a particular aspect of the machine that is culture that they have learned to exploit. Since I am not an economist, I am an observer. And I don't need to know that the wolf has teeth when I feel something biting my ass. I don't need to be able to explain canine dentistry. And Lady V made it to us. Good enough. We are ready. We are ready to really start rocking and rolling now.
I found a meme. This is
Ooh,
back about a month ago, but it says, "I'm so tired of living like it's the 1600s. Can I afford eggs at the market? Are my friends going to die
yeah.
in the plague? Puritans coming for my sinful lifestyle. I want
Hmm.
some modern problems, just modern
Yeah.
problems." But that's
Yes.
what we've gone back to the 1600s.
Well, see, that's one of the things. When people are presented
Mhm.
with a problem, they always want to go back to the old solution or the solution that seemed to fit as far back as they can imagine. Okay. Because it really wasn't anything like what we can imagine to actually live in those times. In fact, I'm utterly convinced that because okay, there could be a plague 200 miles away, and we'd have no idea. Okay, now if there's a plague on the other side of the earth that got 10 people, we know about it. It's being it's being force fed at high pressure into our brain. Okay, that is our biggest modern problem. Is everything is coming that we're in the tempest. Okay, and it's just beating us around. There is no, we can't step around behind the building and just relax. There is no solace, and that is another big part of the desensitization. Okay, the being triggered by everything, because we can only function on a particular frequency. Okay, we can only take in so many thoughts as hard as we try. Okay, we can only take in one thing at a time, and when they're coming at us 10 a second, we get a little flaky.
Power washed. That's a good.
Yes.
At least she
Well,
didn't say
I can
pressure
say
washed.
I I I haven't opened Google News in like 3 weeks. You know?
Okay, everybody stand up and applaud. Like this, you all do not even know what an accomplishment that is. You do not even have a clue. Seriously, Charles. Now, if I could get your ass off of Facebook, that is, we have to set goals.
Yes,
We've
yes.
quit doing the Google News.
One small step at a time.
Yeah, now get him off
Yes.
of Facebook and like cancel his Twitter account. Just saying, just go away.
No, I gave up Twitter again. I
Oh,
don't
good.
spend any time
Yeah.
on. I found at my heaviest
Hmm.
intake,
Hmm.
I hated Twitter because it's.
Did that have
I
to
think
do
it's
with the people you were following?
no, it's the 200 character. Hardly anything that I'm really interested in can be stated in 200 characters. Just doesn't work that way. Okay. Uh, yeah, 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 yeah. That just doesn't. That just doesn't work for me. That is like being in the that's being brainwashed in the washing machine. You know, no, can't do it.
So I'm going to give everybody a warning at a time. Andy has been loading me up with memes.
Oh my,
I've
that's
been
bad.
checking them.
Or good, or better, or happier, or
Oh, look, Bobby's got a good question. So why is Charles not called the Red Ranger and Maria not called the Pink Ranger?
because we
Because
didn't
we didn't
think
know.
about it or something. Wait, so we can change. Wait a
And
minute.
I'm not as hot as the Pink Ranger was.
Let it man.
Amy
Okay.
Johansson or Amy Johnson. Yeah, that's who played that one. But yeah, yeah.
I like it.
Oh, okay. So it's funny that Bobby brings that up. The girl that played the original Pink Ranger,
Yes.
I think she lives in Seattle. I think that's where she normally lives, somewhere in there.
Okay.
But she does a lot of filming in Canada.
Okay.
So for her financial part of her life, she became a dual citizen of Canada and the USA.
Okay.
People lost their minds over that. But it was for tax purposes. Was the
Sure.
only reason that she did it was because she does a lot more filming and acting in Canada than
Yes.
she does in the
Absolutely.
US.
Mhm.
So people were just, whenever she announced that, and I can't remember, I think it was when Obama was president, people lost their minds. And she's like, wait, whoa, it doesn't have anything to do with the government.
Mhm.
Oh, hi, Kevin. The Pink Ranger. Yeah, the Pink Ranger. Yeah. Anyway,
But
your
yeah.
child was small. One of Kevin's children was small during the Power Ranger episode thing. So yeah, he knows what's going on.
What?
Hmm.
I'm far more familiar with the Power Rangers than I probably should be.
Yeah.
Yes. I think
But you know,
I'm gonna blame it on grandchildren though. Okay.
no, I had a child at that time, young enough for
Wait,
there.
Ultra, do you remember Ultraman?
Mm-mm.
Oh, well, then see.
Nope.
Or the lion, what was the lions that, yeah, different lion people that joined together and became Ultraman, you know? Those are awesome concepts.
Hmm. Hmm.
Mm.
But yeah, so I mean, I could share everything that Andy has sent to me. Some of some of the stuff could get us banned off of YouTube. Oh no, Kevin says he has the Ultraman on DVD. I don't even know who that is. That's so bad.
Oh man.
I have no clue.
Well, hey, I can go back. I can go back to watching Sunday morning with Davy and Goliath
That I don't
and
remember.
Pokey. Oh, Gumby and Pokey.
Oh no, I remember Gumby and Pokey. I do remember that. And the bad part is I also
I
remember the
just loved the
skit,
animation. Animation was just
the clay
fascinating to me.
animation. Yeah, I
Sure, yeah.
remember.
Who was that?
Oh,
Harryhausen?
oh,
Harryhausen
I
that
don't.
did the dinosaurs, you know?
Oh, I don't
And
remember.
Battle of the Titans or something. Oh, that was really high end stuff as opposed
Hmm.
to the cartoons that were pretty
Hmm.
simplistic, but still. Oh yeah, the the the, the art
Flipper.
of yes.
Flipper.
Hey, how tough would it have been to work with that actor?
Mm. Working
How
for
tough
sardines, man. Come on, it can't be that bad. Godzilla. I could watch. Okay, so between Godzilla and Bugs Bunny, I could watch every Godzilla show and every not the new Bugs Bunny crap. I can't deal with the new stuff. I need
Oh, the old raw Bugs Bunny.
yes,
Yes.
with all of the and I really do wish to this day, we've talked about this. I really wish that I would have gone to Nashville at that time that symphony the orchestra had set up to where they were going to
Oh
play
yes.
everything
Yes.
to all of the Bugs Bunny cartoons. They
I
were
think
playing
that
them.
would be, they should
That would
they
have
should
been
put that
so
on
wonderful.
they should put that on CNN. It's going to be better than what's going to be on Bar Night.
Honey, it would be better than any shit any radio
The,
or news
the
station puts
National
on.
Philharmonic does
Yeah.
Bugs Bunny.
Yeah.
Now that I would watch.
Bugs Bunny. Yeah. That's my guilty pleasure on Saturday
Oh,
mornings.
really?
I can find Bugs Bunny.
I mean, I didn't really understand until much later, that the music that was in those cartoons
Mhm.
was classical orchestral music,
Wonderful.
the absolute classics.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, okay. But I was just lucky. I was just lucky enough to get a music teacher who absolutely loved classical music. And
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
oh, I still like listening to some of that stuff.
Oh, I
Not
do
all the
too.
time, but it's once you learn the language of the music,
Mm-hmm.
okay, it just blows your mind away.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
And that's something else too. It's like if I hear that music, I've got a Bugs Bunny thing going on in my head. And I'm sure when he wrote that, there was nothing about cartoons going on with it. So I like the Bugs Bunny visual better than I do what was going on at that time. Walt Disney Night on Bald Mountain.
Yes,
Yeah. Yes.
yes. Oh, well, what is the? I don't know. I'm trying to think. What's the music for the Sorcerer's Apprentice? But that's another classic,
Oh, and that's so wonderful.
you know.
That is
But
wonderful to play at any
I
time.
can't tell you the artist and the original name though.
I couldn't either. I couldn't
Uh,
either. Mm-mm.
but there's so much of that we were programmed. Actually, I am convinced myself that the music came first,
Mm-hmm.
and they animated and matched the cartoon
Mm-hmm.
to the music. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like
Yes.
now they do the music is the last thing they do in a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Have everything on screen and they'll
Mm-hmm.
orchestrate to what's on the screen. It wasn't that way. I'm convinced it wasn't that way back then. That they actually played the music to edit the cartoon in. Yeah.
I want to know what music you were listening to. I want to know what type it was.
I got SE music? Don't know. Yep, definitely want to know.
Mhm. Well, I mean, it's like, yeah. I want to know too. It's like, okay, so country's not country anymore because they kind of changed that because we had years ago we had heavy metal, we had
Mhm.
rock music, we
Disco.
had country, we just had just little. We had just like 5 categories of stuff.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
but now it covers. You've got light rock, classical vinyl. You've got You've got
Oh,
country music, you've got cowboy country, you've got roadhouse country, you've got it's all so different. But like the old country is what I remember growing up with. You had your Conway Twitty, your Loretta
it was either
Lynn,
it
Rochelle.
was either Grand Old Opry or bluegrass.
Oh yeah, and we didn't do the bluegrass thing. We didn't do that. And bluegrass, really, nobody paid much attention to that until the movie Brother, Where Art
Brother,
Thou?
where art there? Yes.
When that come out, and that everybody
Mhm.
loved all of that.
Yep.
So, but there's so much different stuff. Classical is always classical, but
Mhm.
you've got the orchestras, and I love to hear an orchestra mixed up with hard rock music, because when they could put that two together,
Oh.
and you've got, I mean, it's incredible.
Jesus Christ Superstar, the first rock opera.
Yeah, I don't have a clue.
Oh, you should, you would probably appreciate that.
Okay.
I don't know if you liked it back then, but you would appreciate it now.
Hmm.
But there was another. I guess really Pink Floyd is so close to that. Have you ever seen The Wall,
Mm.
the animated Pink Floyd? No,
Mm.
you would like that.
Pink Floyd,
With the cartoons, you love that.
most of my was it, oh gosh, late 80s, early 90s.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to think, that was my Pink Floyd connection.
Okay.
And right now I'm trying to even remember some of the songs that was on that.
Okay.
Yeah, that was real. That was 88, 89, 90, somewhere in there. But
Okay. I don't know. I can't dateline their stuff very much, but I
well, see,
do.
that was when I think about that time was when a lot of the older bands, they
Mhm.
got their 70 bands, they got their big comeback late last whatever
Yes. Yes.
in
The last
the late
hurrah.
80s and early 90s. And then
Mhm.
that was when all that shit from Seattle come in and took over, and grunge. Yeah, that's what it was.
Yes.
Hmm. But it was fun.
Ah.
Okay, so here's a good question there, Charles.
Yes. Yes. I eventually, yes. When I get things squared away and get around to it, that is something that I want to do.
Okay, so I have to tell you all, I have to brag about this. Um, I knew about Rumble before Kevin Hale did, and he's a media guy. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
There you go. No,
So,
I have an account on Rumble, and we will probably move the show over there just because
mhm.
I, YouTube
Mm.
YouTube is YouTube is becoming like uh, a yes. It's not becoming what it should be. Let's put it that
Mhm.
way. Yes.
New country. Ron says he's heard some new country music that is going back to the older style. It will,
Doesn't
just
yes.
like everything else. I found something that was done in, I want to say 2015
Oh my.
music, but
Mhm.
it has the 80s.
Okay.
They did an 80s video with it. They took an 80s movie and they did part
Ah.
of that and took it out of it and put it with their music. And I mean, my God, if you didn't know, you couldn't tell the difference.
Hmm.
So, I mean, it's like, but I noticed they're not bringing back classical. They're not bringing back. the 40s, they're not bringing back the
Oh.
50s.
That would, yeah.
Because all those people are dead, so they're not going to bring those back. So we've got to enjoy it while we can.
Well, look, when you go to back to the classics, except for the fact that they were written, and published, hardly anyone ever saw Mozart or Beethoven live in the original performances, and there sure as hell weren't any recordings. So we're just kind of taking the critics' word for it as to what they were originally, So, but at this time, as far as the copyrights, at this time, and I'm saying this again because they have extended it. Originally, copyrights only ran for 50 years. Now I'm not even sure. I think the latest copyright law is 75 years after the person dies, not when it was originally copyrighted. So it's out there, They keep pushing it, They keep pushing it.
So Andy says UFO Wednesday, Mark D'Antonio versus John Brandenburg, the Mars incident debate.
That should be quite interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I like John Brandenburg's theories. I'm just curious as to whether it stands the particular tests or not.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That should
Marco made the comment he likes Johnny Cash. Yeah, there's some Johnny Cash stuff, but that's the stuff I grew up listening to my aunt listen to. I mean, my aunt had Johnny Cash, Conway Twitty, Loretta Lynn, like I said, Crystal Gale. Oh, who else? But anyways, yeah, that's what she always listened to. And thank God at that time.
Gene Autry.
I don't remember about that one.
Oh,
but
God.
See, my mother was yet 11 years younger than my aunt.
Okay.
So what was played at
my mom and my aunt at one they were heavy into the cowboy thing. This would have been back in the late 40s, early 50s.
Well, my mother, with their big age difference, my mother always had it on. She loved CCR. Everything that was being played on AM radio stations at that time. So the disco, not really the disco. It was, I don't know, just it. But anyways, I thought that was so funny. I would get in the car with my aunt and we were playing Merle Haggard and Conway Twitty and Kenny Rogers and all that stuff. And then every morning when I would be getting ready for school, and I was like, Mama, just turn that shit down. Don't nobody want to hear that. But now I liked, my brother had Alice Cooper. His 8 tracks.
Yeah.
And Kiss and Foreigner and all that good stuff. So, and yes, Andy, I've got a cat in my lap and there's her tail. So I'm stroking the pussy there, Andy. Just thought I'd let you know.
Yes.
We have to make Andy happy. Whatever it takes, I've got to do that.
The feline furball.
Yes.
Oh my God. I know. I have a rather. There he is.
Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, Andy thought it was Kevin that I was stroking. Anyway.
Yeah.
So V, she grew up with a variety of Sinatra. Okay, so I didn't even touch my dad's music part. AC/DC blues, Ricky Martin. Never knew what kind of day it was going to be. My dad's attention span was this long.
Mm-hmm.
So he would put in an 8-track of Louis Armstrong, and we would listen to When the Sharks Bite
Mm-hmm.
for like 30 seconds, and he'd pull that one out. And then he would put in Glenn Miller, and we'd listen to that for about 30 seconds, and he'd pull that one. Really, it was like, Dad, just pick a song. Just pick a song and listen to it.
What was I'm trying to.
But Glenn Miller, I'm gonna tell you, Glenn Miller, that one, and there was a song that was played on The Exorcist 3 that was one of those big bands, and I'll have to search for that one, and then I'll let you know what it is.
There was a lot of I mean, there was quite a bit of the movie tunes. Okay, different theme music and that for movies that was big, like through my life, but not. I didn't have any particular. I floated around the different genres. I could listen to just about anything. So. Better go check. Go on.
Song of India. And who sang that? Song of India. So I've got to look for that.
Okay. That's an interesting.
Tommy Dorsey.
Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, but anyways, and it's funny. It's funny this you find movies and you get these. Well, and that's even with what was it, that one song I sent to you that time? It was on a TV series. It was early 80s. And it was the last episode of a last season. Of course, it was going to carry on. And I sent that to you, and I was like, I've never heard this in my life. Gosh, Charles, why am I having to do all the work? What the fuck?
I don't know.
What the fuck's going on?
I was distracted momentarily.
Laurie Anderson.
Okay.
And the name of that song was called Born Never Asked, and it was from 82. And it was in a TV series that was just last year.
Oh. Speaking of TV things, I kind of liked the score and the music that was on that one we watched. Don't do that. Don't do that to me. The kind of a time travel story. Outer Range was on Amazon. And I have it official. They are coming out with another season. I look forward to watching it and having my mind further blown. But I like the music that went with that. I thought the musical score was pretty good with that one.
Oh, okay. So this little tidbit fact breaks my heart. Tommy Dorsey was killed in a bombing raid over Europe and Germany in World War II. Okay.
Yes.
Anyway.
And if I remember the story correctly, he had been offered like a USO tour.
Oh,
said,
yeah.
I got a job to do. That's
what was who was the sisters that did the USO tours? Yeah.
Miller's no.
The Does it start with an
Come
A?
on, Ufi.
Come on, Ufi. You got it, sister. Come on. Bring it up. Bugle Boys of Company B.
Yes, there's that one too. Somebody,
Or is it
please.
Company C? Is it Company B or Company C? Which one was it? Bugle Boys of Company B would make the most sense, but
Oh God, I cannot for the life of me. It's like it's right on the tip of my tongue.
Andrews Sisters?
The Andrews Sisters, yes.
Okay. Oh, Oofy. Oh, fail. Total fail. Oh, wow. Damn, all my faith is gone in you now. Dang.
We need to get oh God. We need to get X lady over here. Get Kath over here.
Yes. Oh, finally. Yeah. After I tell you the answer, Hoofy, you come up with it. Yeah, we need to get X lady over here. She doesn't have a clue about that we even do this, I don't think. But all that stuff was fun. I mean, I couldn't imagine it. And of course, Robin Williams did the USO tours for the comedy stuff.
Yes.
And I think they do that more with comedy, which they need.
Do comedians even do?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
USO shows now? Who is it? Who are they?
They're people we don't.
I got the slightest idea. Let me see. Al Franken's probably not going to do it anymore.
Yeah. Well, I remember one of the snippets for oh my gosh, Robin Williams when he was over there. And at the time he started his show and then they did taps. And he didn't have a clue because whenever it happened, they all turned away from him and they were facing the flag.
Yeah.
And he kind of like lost it there for a minute. He was like, "Oh my God, what did I do? What did I say? They've all turned my back on me." But then he figured it out. But
yeah,
Robin Williams and George Carlin and
oh yeah, all those guys did it.
Those guys were great.
Sam Kinison.
Yes.
You know, but I haven't. I swear to you, there were a few broadcasts or documentaries about USO tours in Iraq in the very early days, but it just didn't happen anymore. I don't understand. You know what?
I think they do, but we just don't hear about it anymore. It's not a big deal like it used to be. You know, our troops overseas get a taste of America.
It kind of makes sense because they may be in a foxhole in the middle of fucking Afghanistan, but their cell phone works. Okay.
Probably better than mine, than my freaking internet. Oh, and I have to let everybody know I'm using a hotspot on my phone
in order to keep the sound from breaking up.
Yep. And the funny thing is that my phone is hooked up to Wi-Fi, just the same as my computer. Here we are.
Don't explain. Did you?
Oh, Julie, that's hilarious. Geraldo gave away. Yeah, he kind of did. He also screwed up Al Capone's vault too.
Yes.
Oh my God, that was big fail back in the day.
I'm waiting for him to open that new chamber in the pyramid. Yeah. Live on CNN. Yes. Happy Yawas.
Yeah, Oofy. Thank you, Microsoft. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I heard someone call guacamole. That's perfect.
Okay. Let me see. Stars and sparkles. Yes. Those little marshmallow ditties.
Good stuff.
Good stuff.
Yeah, the peanut gallery is alive and well.
But
my favorite is I'm still going to bring back. I just so if I could go back in time to a certain place,
yes.
it would be wherever Dean Martin, Frank Sinatra, and Sammy Davis Jr. are all together, and they're doing their comedian music acts.
Okay.
They're all drunk.
You're talking like 1958 Las Vegas.
That's where I want to go. I want to go to Vegas. I want to. Okay, so here's something else too. I guess I kind of need to do 2 timelines. I want to do that. I want to be around that. And then I want to fast forward to one of the things I would absolutely love to do. And this is absolutely crazy. And I would probably last like an hour, maybe. But I want to sit in one of the chapels where all of these dumbasses come in and get married by the Elvis.
Oh. They just retired that.
No.
No. Yes, they did.
Oh, no.
They closed down the Elvis Chapel.
No.
A few months ago. Oh my God, there was my big chance.
I want to sit and watch how many people come within an hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever.
Yeah.
How many people come in to get married at an Elvis chapel? I just wanted to see it. I think that would be so fun.
That would probably be, yes, really humorous.
It would be hilarious because the next morning these drunk fuckers would be down the street getting it annulled. Yeah, they're done. But how fun would that be?
I don't know.
Oh, this is funny. We're not going to Vegas. Kevin, honey, you're safe.
Oh my God.
I just wanted to watch, honey. I just wanted to watch. I just wanted to be the voyeur in that situation.
What happens in Vegas. Oh God.
Yeah, I just want to be a voyeur for just a little bit and watch that. We're good. I'm good.
Okay. See, I got to check. This one. And who sent me something? Oh no, Andy sent me something. Oh, okay. Thank you for the link, Andy. I appreciate it.
Like I said, honey.
Like I said, to
the Elvis. Oh, look here, your son.
No. Look, are you the UFO Brandenburg?
Oh,
D'Antonio
Brandenburg, Missouri?
No, the scientist, John Brandenburg.
Oh, looky here. Your son finally decided to freaking show up. 10 minutes, probably before we're going to end the show.
He's on summer hours.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Had to finish mowing.
Yeah. You could mow after the show, dude. Time, Oh no, wait a minute. You're an hour ahead of me, so it's 10 till 7 here. It's gonna be dark.
It's 10 till 8 here. 10 till 8 here, and it's 10. Yeah, it's 10 till 8. It's the sun's gone down, so
not here. I'll
cut him some slack.
Mm-hmm. I don't cut anybody's slack. I've got to give everybody shit. So
Well, I did. I even talked to him this afternoon. I called him. I called him right before the show.
Oh.
To remind the show's on, and also say, just so you don't call me. It's
Yeah, it's Tuesday, dumbass. Remember?
Oh, that's
Okay, so I guess I need. Gosh, Andy has loaded me. Oh, here we go. The Nicholas and Jessica Elvis wedding ceremony at Graceland. There we go. That's what we have to do.
So you can do it there. You
I
don't
have to go. Yeah, I'll have to.
Vegas.
Yeah, Grace. Yeah, Memphis is a whole lot closer.
Mm.
Okay, so this is my favorite. I've got to get back here and I've got to show this to you because I think we had even made a comment about this at one time. This one.
Oh, that's too close. That's too close to reality there.
It kind of really is. But here's the next one.
No.
Yep, well, here you go. My grandma just turned 70 years old today. Happy birthday, Nana. And you know what? It's kind of like, but wait, there's more. And I'm just kind of think, so yeah. The most secure and well played job nobody ever applies for. Sucking shit. Perfect, Hoofy. Oh, 1.5 hours. Aw. That's okay. So, what are we talking about here, sweetie? Are we talking about batteries or?
We had a power pack. Yeah, that was supposed to be able to.
So, is that Viagra or are you talking about electricity? What are we talking about here? Batteries? What are we talking about, sweetie? Just one of them. Just make it clear.
I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, 1.5. Yeah. Hey. So, where are we going? Goodness gracious. There's Andy. Apparently, Andy's sitting. Oh my God.
Yeah, he's kind of sending you something else.
Oh no, these are. I'm so far. I'm just getting. I'm not going to share that one.
Oh no, I'm kind of thinking that.
It's an old one that he sent me. I'm not going to share it.
So. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to go ahead and share this one. So.
Oh.
And then we have.
Oh. There are no orangutans in Africa or New York. Oh, God.
Andy finds the best stuff. I'm just saying. Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
That reminds me. I just saw a movie trailer last week
mhm,
for the second movie of the Dune series,
mhm,
and I watched the original one when it was released,
mhm,
um, sitting in my son's house with him, sound system, and I
mhm.
am telling you right now, the second movie, when it becomes available in November, we're going to be IMAXing it because that's going to fucking rock. Uh, that's good. I have to say, good. That is the only, well, not the only, but nearly the only science fiction that I can say that was done in a movie and done right. And it's been done twice before, but this time Villeneuve Villeneuve has it perfectly. I don't think anybody will ever do any better.
Yeah, I think Oofy thinks our this video tonight will be like, but they didn't take down our last week's video, right? I haven't looked. You didn't get a notification of it, did you?
Nope.
Well, you don't check the email, right?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, do you? Because I remember one time it's like a month before I looked at it. Oops.
Well,
Oopsie.
hmm, that's true. Maybe I should check that more off. I should put that on my
Mm,
daily roster. Yeah, one of these days I'll get around to that.
mhm. But yeah, no, I think there's certain times that I would like to go back to. Just if I could time travel backwards. I don't want to go forward. I want to go backwards. I don't There's nothing in the
I
future that I
always,
care
I
anything about
always said
seeing.
I'd rather go forward, but if I were going backward, where would I go? Uh, hmm.
Would you go as far as before the flood, the Great Flood?
Oh, if I could go backward,
Mhm.
absolutely, absolutely. I looking backward, I would like to go back and see a dinosaur for real.
Oh, so yeah, way before
That's
human.
way back. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, so you want to do the sleaze stack thing, right?
Yes. The Silurian hypothesis.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back
Where
and
they're
be the guy.
really lizard
I want to
people.
be the guy in the flying saucer, harassing the dinosaurs.
Hmm.
Saying, yeah, 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 yeah. You're gonna be
Yeah.
dead.
Yeah.
You're gonna be extinct soon.
Yeah, that's kind of what I wondered. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
I don't know what I want. I don't know how far back I would want to go. I don't know. Maybe I would want to be a witness at the dawn of humanity, but who knows? My ass might be Lilith, and here we go.
Okay.
So,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, that would be. Oh gosh. Now, as far as humans are concerned, I would like to go back to like 20,000 years ago. Okay, because
20?
we'd still be the same, but we don't know anything about what was going on, what people were doing, how they were acting 20,000 years ago. I mean, the number there's you could fit all the bones and artifacts that we have from that era in a freaking gym bag.
Mhm.
So we know nothing, you know. So
Yes.
that would be enlightening, I think,
Yes.
just to watch
Mhm.
and see what they were doing.
I want to know where kitties come from. My sweet Dorias.
Oh,
As he tolerates the shit that I do to him all the time.
yes.
I want to know where they come from. How did
I
they
think
become domestic?
I think they were domesticated twice.
I could see that. Yes. Yes,
Yes,
yes, yes, yes.
they were. I think one of the domestications was in Egypt,
Mm-hmm.
and I think the second domestication was in China.
Mm-hmm.
Completely separate, different, and now well mixed, but originally from different small felines.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Well, I
cousins.
know. Well, I know they're gods to the Egyptians. Cats were.
Yeah. Yes.
So how did they survive through all of that? Because, I mean, that empire failed, the Roman Empire failed. How did the cats survive? What do they still mean? Because
Cats
this shit,
survived.
like, still
The
losing her
cats
mind.
survived because everybody from the Egyptians to the any agricultural people wanted something to get rid of the rats. You know,
Well, yeah.
the
Well, and
grain,
of course, during
feed
the
the grain.
plague, the
Yes,
Black Plague,
never,
the
and
rats
that's
ran
where they
amok.
came. Never kill a cat.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's guarding your food stores.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Uh, yeah, that would be yeah, that would be an interesting thing too. And it wasn't like Fred Flintstone, putting out
No,
the
no.
putting the saber-tooth tiger out for the evening.
But and that's the funny thing too, and it all depends on the cat's personality, because I've had cats that didn't want to come inside.
Oh
They
my God.
wanted to stay outside
I've had,
until they got old.
I've owned cats that just didn't want touched.
Well, yeah,
Okay,
that
but
depends on their upbringing. But
yeah,
I don't know, I had 2, 3 cats. They didn't want to come inside.
Mhm.
They would rather stay in the barn. The only time that they wanted to come in the house is if they were sick or they got to a certain age, and I would
Mhm.
let them in, and then they never went back outside again. So I had one cat. She was probably 14,
Uh-huh.
and one day she came inside, and then she decided, I'm not going back outside again, and she stayed in for the next 3 years. So she lived till she was 17.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So what are cat years? Dog years are 7, right?
It
Cat years must
depends. I think it depends on the breed, just kind of like a
be.
dog. Smaller dogs live longer, larger dogs don't live as long. So the
Yeah.
last, I had she was a part Corgi, part Dotson, and
Hmm.
she lived till she was 16, I think it was.
Okay.
But then the last two that I had, Lurch was part red tick hound and part German shepherd. So and he looked like a shepherd, but he was built like a red tick hound.
Hmm.
And
Okay.
he lived to be 8. Um, but now he had extenuating circumstances with him. Um, Sadie lived to be 10, and she was a medium-sized dog, but now she was a coyote.
She was part
Coyotes
coyote
only live like 5 years, I think,
in the wild. Yeah.
mhm,
Okay.
in the wild. So her living to be 10, I mean, she doubled her age being
Yeah.
with me. So yeah, some cats live 20 years. I think I had one that was 18. And it's like they always say, oh, when you die, you'll be met up with all of your animals. And I'm like, oh my God. All the animals that I have taken care of and nursed back to health, and oh my goodness.
The
I
Maria's
had,
are.
man, And I hated. There was a lot of it. I couldn't. It was overwhelming
Mhm.
because there was a lady that lived across the street. She had two cats that when they had their kittens, they would go off somewhere to have them.
Uh-huh.
But whenever the cats were starting to be weaned, and I never understood this, those cats brought them to me. They brought their kittens to me. They didn't go back home. They brought them to me. So here I would have, I think at one time, I had two mamas, I think within a week apart of each other, brought me four kittens apiece. And these little kittens had not been around a human at all. Nothing. So I'm trying to calm them and keep them to where they don't lose their crap. And then here comes this other set. And so you use this set of kittens to take care of this set of kittens. And you know, and I was like, this is insane. That's insane. They're not having their animals spayed.
Mhm.
And this
Oh, yeah,
this is going
because
to
you're
be a
taking care of the
cycle.
problem. You're taking care of the problem. They're happy.
Exactly.
They just disappeared. Okay, yeah.
So one day, all of them got loaded up in a box and went to the Humane Society, which I absolutely hated. I hate doing that. I
Mhm.
don't want to dump a problem off somewhere else because I know they're all going to be dead. They're not
Yeah.
going to find homes for all of these, and it's, I mean, it's just one of those things. But I just couldn't make it my problem. I just could not. I just couldn't do it. I just hated it because there was one time I had taken one of their cats to the Humane Society, and I was like, it's not mine. Spay it, and I'll take it back and turn it loose. And
Mhm.
they wouldn't do it. But that was before the feral programs happened to where that they could just get all these feral cats in, spay, neuter them,
We
and
could
then,
start a new program. I just
yeah,
realized.
well, I wouldn't. I
We should
wouldn't.
we should load them in buses and take them to New York and drop them off. They need more cats there.
Yeah, they do. More cats to go with the immigrants that's flooding in. So, yeah.
Whatever. Better
Yeah.
cats than rats. You know?
Honey, I tell you what, if they, I don't care what kind of
Ooh.
meat it is, if they cook it right, if it's tender and it tastes good, I'm eating it. I don't care what it is.
with, with,
I don't
with
care if
the
it's
so with
dog,
the
cat,
so
horse,
with the right spices, it can be okay.
everything is good. Ooh, but you know what, Oofy? If they started like catching and cooking them rats,
Yeah, well, the NYC, from what I hear, the rats, they would need to be really large cats.
have you seen New York rats? They
uh,
are the
in,
size of
in
cats.
person? No, I have not.
They are the size of cats.
Yes, they're not. Yes, absolutely. Those are not mice. Those
Mm-mm.
are rats.
Those are, it's comparable to the Texas cockroaches compared to what we see up north. Yeah, nope.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm. Nope. They're huge.
Oh,
So, but anyway, oh my God, you crack me up. I mean, chicken. Dude, I'm telling you, rattlesnake, turtle, shark, whatever, calamari.
mm-hmm.
I just don't think I could do the escargot or the.
I could probably do it if no one told me what it was.
But I'm
And it
kind of
was
thinking
prepared,
it's,
and if it was prepared right, yes, okay.
yeah, because I'm thinking turtle is tough, so that would have to be cooked correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Now I love fried clams. Love fried clams. Those are good. Oysters, I've never done the raw and the half shell, but now I've put them in dressing and baked them in dressing. Oh my gosh, it's so good. And I kind of think that's a northern thing. My nephew kind of traveled around for a while,
Mm-hmm.
and I think putting oysters in just regular dressing is a northern thing.
Hmm.
And he brought that, and oh my gosh, it's so
Is
good.
Boston that's famous for its clam chowder? You think it was?
I don't know, but
Oh,
I've had clam chowder once, and that was one of my neighbor's friends cooked it, and oh my gosh, it was so good. So I don't know anything about Boston stuff. Yeah, I'm not eating anything bugs that's crunchy. Nope, sorry. Nope. I'm not eating chocolate covered grasshoppers, ants, whatever. Nope. Nope. That's not happening.
that would be a bit. Yeah. I don't think I could
No. Mm-mm.
go with that.
Nope. Okay. Your child that was supposed to like go about 30 minutes ago, he was leaving. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Call him George. Yeah.
Pet him and squeeze him and
Mhm. That was a great Bugs Bunny cartoon. He's correct. So, but anyways, so here we are. Clam chowder, two kinds:
Okay. I
original
knew there was
sans
something.
tomato or Boston with tomato.
Hmm.
That does sound good.
There you go. Hmm. Now, it must be getting that time we're talking about. We're almost
Food.
we're almost exclusively talking about food now.
Mm. Yep, it's that time.
What the hell? Yeah.
So, all right. Well, we kind of like started out with nothing, and we ended up with Bugs Bunny and food. So, fried rabbit. I'm telling you, I've not had any in years.
Oh, I have not. I have not had rabbit for a long time.
Oh, it is so good. Rabbit and squirrel.
And the only thing bad about squirrel is it takes so many of them to make a mess.
It really does. That's a lot of work.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
gosh, the last fried rabbit I had, my cousin had gone rabbit hunting, and he gave it to my mother, and she wasn't going to cook it, and I
Mm-hmm.
fried it up, and oh my goodness, I was so glad my husband turned his nose up to it because I ate the whole thing.
Oh my God.
And I was like, I don't, you could just have fried bologna for supper. I don't care. I'm eating fried rabbit because, and that
Oh
that was back in the 90s. I've not had rabbit since then.
my God. Yes.
Mm. Oofy, honey, you can have all of the billy goat balls you want. I'm just saying, fried or raw, whatever you want, honey.
That is something I've never had, and
Mm.
probably never will. But hey, whatever.
Oh,
I just.
but anyways,
Look. I've been looking around for the past at least 2 months
mhm.
for really good steak because I don't eat a lot. It's like I don't eat a lot of it, and I don't eat it. I think like once a week. For some really primo steaks.
Mhm.
I need to start shopping in some new places because there's very little out there. And
We have
what's
a
out there
butcher.
is does just not look that good.
We
You
have a
know?
butcher shop here in Bowling Green, and they've got the best. You're going to pay some money for it, but they've got a lot of great. It's a butcher shop, so I mean,
Mhm.
however thick you want it, whatever cut you want, they're going to give it to you. So, and it's a lot, but and that's something else I can't. I just I know I need to eat,
Mhm.
but it's like if you can get that one steak that's this thick and it's cooked just right, and
Yeah.
it's gonna melt in your mouth when I'll pay $100
Yeah.
for it. I don't care. It's like it's gonna be
I
that
don't think
good.
I'll go quite that far, but
No, I think I would.
I found some fillets.
Hmm.
It was they ordinarily don't carry, but I found a couple of fillets, and they were like I don't know, like 5 ounce maybe,
Hmm.
and got out the cast iron skillet and braised them.
Hmm.
Let them set and come up to temperature.
Hmm.
Braised them, threw them in the oven for like 10 minutes,
Hmm.
and when they came out, they were so fucking tender,
Hmm.
delicious. I said, "Oh my god, I gotta have more than that."
My son, I think the last steak I had, I went to my son's house and he cooked up. Emerald had cooked something and he wanted to try that out, and it was all cooked in an iron skillet.
Yes.
So for him, it was all complete because he had not been able to use his grandmother's iron
Okay.
skillet, because she sent all of that home with him
Uh
because he
huh.
loves to cook. So he got to cook steaks in that skillet, and
Oh.
just exactly the way Emerald said to do it. And oh
Hmm.
my goodness.
Yeah. It tastes. It gives it in time. I don't know. Um, it's just delicious.
It is.
It
But I
doesn't taste.
mean,
It doesn't taste like a grilled steak.
mm-mm.
It tastes better. I
And two, but I mean, you
but
think about it. Those were cowboy steaks back in the day.
oh my god, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they didn't just hang it over an open fire. They had the iron skillets and they cooked all that stuff. So
Yep.
that would be another. Okay, so maybe that's another thing I would like to go back to. I would love to go back to do a trail ride where you had your cowboy
Oh.
coffee,
Yeah.
and you had your cook that went along with it. And I mean, they cooked beans, they did the cornbread. Hoe cakes were the easiest,
Hmm?
probably.
Oh, Jay, you didn't bring that up.
Oh, buffalo. Oh,
That
yes,
is
buffalo
that
meat
is
is
something.
wonderful.
I have had ground buffalo, and it was awesome. I would love to get a buffalo steak one
Mhm,
time, you know, and just because it's just it tastes
mhm,
so awesome,
mhm.
and not for no particular reason. Well, I like venison too.
Ooh,
It's a little dry, and but if you import some oil or fat from something else, it
mhm.
works
And
definitely well.
that's the mixture. Plus too, you have to know what they've been eating,
Oh yeah, yeah.
because now I've had some that we cut it up, we had it all seasoned, and it did not matter what we did to that meat, and it just was not good. So yeah, you have to watch that stuff. Yeah, City Slickers, Billy Crystal. Yeah, but yeah, and I ate before I come onto the show, but I had it's Taco Tuesday, so I had me some
Oh,
street tacos.
uh-oh.
But now we're
Mm.
talking about food, and I'm kind of hungry. Kind of hungry. I actually
It's
had some
torture. Yes, it's the new torture.
um I had some spaghetti that was this weekend. Oh my gosh, it was so good. I hadn't had it in a while. Bugs need to go away. But anyway,
Mm.
yeah, that was delicious.
Uh, West Branch.
Huh?
He's saying where are we going to go for where are Jay and I going to go for steaks? West
Oh yeah.
Westwood Steakhouse. Yeah,
Mhm.
been there long.
Amish weekend, but changed. So Julie wanted to do an Amish weekend, but changed my mind, and I'd rather do an afternoon picnic and eat their jam and bread. I'm gonna tell you something. I did an
Oh,
I did an auction at. I worked an auction at an Amish
mm,
house, and the amount of food that those people prepared in no time to sell at that auction was amazing. But I mean, it was fresh donuts that they made, and I watched them.
mm-hmm,
So what they did was that they took, because no electricity or anything like that, they took propane tanks
mm-hmm.
to cook, to do all that deep fried oil and stuff. And they had this table that stretched across the room, and they put that dough out right across it, and it was like two of them cut all of that dough. And oh my goodness, it was it was amazing to watch them. But I mean, you look at these people, they work together side by
Yes.
side every day, and it's
Mhm.
all of the families are together, and they're cooking, they're sewing clothes. I mean, I know it's a hard lifestyle, but I sit there and look at it, and it's the same. The women take care of, and I'm not picking on anything. The men
Yeah.
are outside and they are working in the elements. They are tending the fields, they're tending the cattle, they're doing whatever. The
Sure.
women are taking care of the children, cooking, sewing, making clothes, and cleaning. And they're doing all of that. And they've been doing it forever.
Well,
And
they've
the
been
most
doing it that way for 300 years.
exactly. And they know, and the kids learn how to manipulate stuff, because I thought it was funny with them, because they were like, "Oh, do you want your because my the calculator I had, they had no
Mhm.
electricity, but the
Yeah.
calculator that I had, the batteries were running out." And they were like, "Oh, we can fix this for you." They were going to take this souped up battery, they were going to cut the cord to my calculator and wrap it around this big ass battery. They know how to make electricity, and they know how to change stuff to where, I mean, these
Okay.
kids aren't dumb, they know.
No. Oh,
They
no,
know.
no, no. You drive through Amish country up here, and
Mhm.
every other farm has a big solar array.
Yeah. Well, see that, okay,
Because the
but
whole
now
point,
it's the
the
difference.
whole
It's the
point is
difference in them.
they're not allowed to tie into the grid. That's right,
We
because the
we
grid's
we you have Amish and you have Mennonites.
yes.
And then there's different ones. There's ones they are not allowed to get into a vehicle. So everywhere they go, it's horse and buggy. And that's what we have down here. They are not allowed to get into a vehicle. I think it's the Mennonites that are more modern.
Uh huh.
So they still do the dress and the garb, however they, but they'll get in a vehicle and they'll drive somewhere, or maybe they have electricity in their home, but they still try to do everything else the old way.
Do you want to know where to invest $1,000 right now? Forget about stocks.
All right, what YouTube channel did you just bring up?
Something Andy says.
Oh God, why do you bring up anything Andy sends? That's a video, especially if you don't know if it's porn or not.
Oh, I trust Andy. Ah, no,
Oh, those are words you never want to, you never believe in.
okay. I'll do a share screen. You can see this. See what I found.
Maybe.
Maybe. Why isn't it? Okay, try a different window. There it is.
Here we go. Oh yeah.
Amish moving a shed. Looks like about 100 by 100 shed.
Yeah. Honey, I'm telling you something. It's crazy what these people can do, but they all come together to do it, and they don't care to do that. That's the thing. They don't mind to. That auction that I worked, there were 50 of them, no, 30 of them that came from Iowa. They got on a bus to come to that auction to support the family that was selling, just to support them. And then they found a way to house all of them. So it's a totally different community. It's just something.
And there's something very attractive about that part of it.
Mm-hmm.
But
the only thing that I think bothers me is that if something crazy was to happen to the world, they're going to try to take over. People are going to try to take over those communities.
Oh yeah.
And that just can't be allowed to happen. And I'm sure they won't allow it to happen, but those people kind of need to be protected. Any one of them I've ever ran into have just been very nice and very wonderful, even though that they know you live a completely different lifestyle than them. But they've never been taught to completely, if it's in their family, they reject it and they pitch them out. But if it's somebody that's already on the outside looking in, they're not mean and hateful to them. It's really different. It's kind of like a cult. It is a cult.
Oh, what?
Was there Max?
Come on.
Sweet little Max. Okay, so I guess next week when we come on, you'll have to be the Red Ranger and I'll have to be the pink one.
I don't know. I'll be the. Let's see. What's blue? Blue's a medical officer. I think I'm gonna.
I kind of get.
Gold is command, and engineering. What's what Scotty always wear? Can't remember. Blue was McCoy, and
because he was medical. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
But you know what? If they went on to a planet and the red shirt guy was always killed.
The red shirt guy always got.
If they were on the planet.
They were security.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, and they sucked. So anyway.
Oh well.
Yeah. It is what it is.
Unfortunately, wherever they went, the aliens weren't colorblind. So
yeah, that's true. So okay, so we had the
and the word was out. Always eat the red guys first. Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah, definitely.
The red humans are tasty.
Oofy said that red is engineering.
Oh. Okay. I guess I was. So how did Scotty manage to?
I don't know.
The damn janitors get no respect.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is. They should have put them in green or something. But anyway, excuse me.
So there we go.
Oh, look here. Oofy's calling the end of the show. Yep.
8:30. Time to head for the chow line.
Mm-hmm.
Been doing nothing but talk about food for the last half hour, so I guess that's enough. Everybody, thank you so much for being here, for sticking around with us, and hope you enjoyed the banter, and we sure enjoyed having you with us. Good night, everybody.
Bye.